What are you watching, the neighbor's kid? Yes. My neighbor wanted a date night, and I remember what it's like to be her age and not have that. You really think you should be watching a kid like so close after, like, I don't mean to be depressing, but you know, with the junior stuff? Well, I think that's where you and I differ. Where me and Gabby differ too when it comes to grief and trauma. I like to run headfirst towards it and face it. I don't like to avoid triggers, and this has been very triggering when I'm slowly getting over it. What's the kid's name? Sammy. I'm assuming it's short for Samuel. I don't know. Cute kid though, right? Cool. Let me ask you, why'd you have to be so mean to Gabby though? Like about the birthday stuff? Cause like as your kids, can you remember the last time me and her threw you like a birthday or whatever, or like acknowledged your birthday all these years? So it's been about, you know, us. Because I'm turning 50 whatever, and do you really think that I want to celebrate my birthday after what just happened? It's common sense. I'm supposed to be sung to and have a cake and open gifts. You can grieve and still have a birthday, Ma. You can be sad and still celebrate good stuff. You know, I don't think, not to be sappy, but I don't think Junior would want us all like moping around and crying. Like, he wasn't like that. He was a happy little kid, you know? Okay, there's finding meaning in certain things, and then there's just blowing smoke up someone's butt. Junior was too busy focusing on what Rocky from Paw Patrol was doing. I don't think he cares whether or not I have a birthday. So let's not try to be manipulative with that. I'm not gonna push it, but don't be surprised if we throw you something. Okay, please don't speak like that. Please don't try to call my bluff, because I told Gabby and now I'm telling you straight to your face. I don't want to celebrate. I don't want a cake. I don't want an acknowledgement. I don't want a card. I don't want anything on my birthday. If I see some sort of celebration in a room, then I am walking out of that room. I am turning my back to it, no matter who is there. If I invite extended family that we've not seen in a while, and some of your work friends and the neighbor let you watch her kid or whatever, you literally go walk in the room and then walk out? That's rude. You taught me not to be rude. Like I said, don't call my bluff. You know me. I don't have much shame or embarrassment in what I believe in. Well, I know that this is silly to apologize for, but I genuinely feel bad that I didn't acknowledge Mother's Day this year for you when you've helped me so much and all that, and I'm sorry that me and Gabby let that fly by. Obviously, Gabby was going through her divorce. I'm going through the Junior stuff. I hope you're not like salty about your birthday because we didn't acknowledge Mother's Day. Mother's Day falls into the same category for me as my birthday. I'm not looking to celebrate that either. I appreciate the apology, but it's a meaningless day to me in the grand scheme of things. Truly, take a step back. Think about what you're saying. Think I care about Mother's Day after all of that? I get that, but you're alive, I'm alive, Gabby's alive, we're all in good health. Like, a birthday is to celebrate that. I never celebrate you as a mom. Over the years, all I've ever done is badger you and complain about you and stick up for Miranda over you, and I just want to give something back for once, that's all. Think about how many people watch the show who have an ungrateful kid that don't celebrate them, that would kill for a birthday. Like, it's kind of disrespectful to them that you're turning something down that they wish they had. You know, like, there's so many prick kids out there who, like, distance themselves from family for zero reason when the parent raised them and all that. Like, you have something that's special. I learned a long time ago that comparison is the thief of joy. And to not compare my situation to someone else's. Anyone who does that in their life is ignorant. And I would expect most people to not compare their life to mine. Sit around and say, oh, if only I had children like her who threw me birthday parties, oh, pity party you. Don't try that on me, Joey. This is why I'd rather be at work. If Melissa's not nagging me about moving in and having children, you're being the way you're being about your birthday. You know, at work, people laugh with me. We joke. We talk about like designs, tattoo designs. My work wife is real fun to be around. Work wife? Excuse me? Yeah, she's been like really helping me with certain designs and all that, like koi fish. I still have a tough time with koi fish. And what's the other thing I'm having a hard time with? Dragons. Not that I should be doing that yet, but she's really helped me with that. And because we spend so much time together at work, the boys joke that she's my work wife or whatever. It's stupid. She got a husband. No, it's not. It's the term work wife. I don't really think that Melissa would appreciate something like this. I feel like we've been down this road with those terms. Haven't you learned your lesson? I'm 34 years old. Melissa's 30 something years old. We're all adults. We can have little nicknames for one another. It's not like we're insecure teenagers or in our early 20s where we can't cope with, you know, being around the opposite sex. You know, she's my work wife. I'm sure Melissa will get a job and have like a work husband who she eats lunch with on break or whatever. Okay, and you would be okay with that if Melissa had a work husband who they ate lunch together every week or every day in the break room and watched Netflix together. Absolutely, I would not be okay with that. I'm being sarcastic, but I'm not like, we're not chilling, me and this girl, Clarissa. She's just helping me with work and we're friendly. It's just a little nickname the dudes gave her. Well, I am giving you a fair warning, and I'm predicting this like everyone else is. The second that Melissa hears the term work wife, it's gonna be all hell. I ain't worried about drama like that. I think Melissa knows better to start drama. You know what I am worried about? What color balloons to get for your birthday? If I see one balloon for my birthday, I am popping them with scissors. Come on, man, don't be like that. There's just no winning, Victor. Unlike a lot of other men, I really try to change myself for my partner. You know, when someone has a critique in my relationship, I try to work on it, right? A lot of men wouldn't do that. They would go out there, work on their car, ignore what their woman said, point blank. But me, I try to listen to Tiffany and take cues from her. She doesn't like that I'm so depressed. Well, I try to be happy, and if she says it's fake, well, look, I can never claim that I know much about women, and I cannot get in Tiffany's head. But if I were to guess, I would think that she would like you to be your authentic self. Alright, well, the problem with that, Victor, is that authentically, I'm a sad person. I don't naturally like to smile. I don't know, so it sounds to me like she doesn't like my natural personality. And then when I'm happy, she doesn't like that either. Ryan, I've known you a long time, and I don't believe that. There have been times where we've laughed and shared in the fun. Remember, we used to go out to the bars and clubbing together, and you used to have a great time. But more importantly, recently, just last year, months ago maybe, when you first met Miranda, you were different. You were happy. You were what the people wanted. People clamored for you. People were enthralled by your personality and wanted that change, and you were like the light of the room. I just don't know what changed, because when you met Miranda, that was you. You were bubbly almost. Almost like a Dean Winchester character. That's true. There was something different about Miranda. I guess she had the resting bitch face back then, and I mean that respectfully towards her. She really didn't smile a lot. And when I laid my eyes on her, it was kind of like my goal was to break that, bring a smile to her face. With Tiffany, she's a naturally happy person. So I feel like I can let my guard down and just be myself. But myself, right now, I'm upset. I'm not happy with where my life is. At all. What's missing, though? Aside from the obvious, aside from Charlotte, But what's missing that's making you so depressed? Because at one point, I believe that Miranda was dragging you down, and I believe she had been the cause for your unhappiness. And now Tiffany, although we did not see eye to eye, she has a nice personality. She is social, she's intelligent, has a lot going for her, a sense of humor at times. You're lucky to have her, and you're in good health. I don't know where your depression stems from, although that's a terrible thing to say, because you can't dictate where depression comes from, but you know what I mean. I have everything I want in terms of business, I guess. I now have the church, and I have to figure that stuff out. But my personal life, I wanted a house with someone. I didn't just want Charlotte, I wanted more children than that. I wanted that American Pie life. And I don't have that with Tiffany yet. And every day that goes by where Charlotte's not in my life, I feel like I had that life and it's gone. And even though finding her is not going to bring it back, I still feel like she's a missing piece of the puzzle that I can't work on another puzzle until I find the answer to this one. Not to go here for the trillionth time, and it's not my place, but I genuinely think that it's wrong to keep pursuing Charlotte and keeping this a secret. You have to face reality. This is early on in Charlotte's life, where you have realized you're not her dad, and no one else is here to tell you that but me. I don't think Tiffany wants to keep saying it to you. And your uncle's gone. You don't read comments. But I think God showed you you're not her dad early on in her life for a reason, and it was so you could cut ties and try to move on from your own puzzle. Because if you found out at 10 years old, when she was 10, it'd be much harder to cut ties, and I know it is difficult because you were there her whole pregnancy, but I think you have to let go. I don't know why you keep saying that. There are plenty of parents out there who raise a child that's not blood. If I want her birth certificate, Victor. If I want to raise her as my own, then I should have that right. You've always wanted to be a good man. And at times that's been your worst quality, but I think now it's very important to stick to that, because this is a bad thing to do. Joey lost his son. He is a broken man, no matter how bad he has been. And perhaps finding out that he has a daughter with the woman he once truly loved will brighten his day just a little bit. Maybe it will keep him going a little bit. It may not be in your best interest to help the man you despise, but it's a human thing to do. That's the one bad thing that I'm going to allow myself to do. My one bad quality is not going to be drinking or drugs or being abusive or partying too much. None of that. I'm going to allow myself one bad trait that, okay, everyone can say whatever the hell they want about that when it comes to me. Not that anyone's going to know, but my one bad trait is the fact that I'm not telling Joey or anyone ever that I am not her father. I'll take that to my grave. I've said that before and I'll say it again. That's going to be my vice. I don't care. I was there through the pregnancy. I was there in the delivery room. She's my daughter. I've fed that girl from day one. I just wish you had not told me. I wish I had the bliss of ignorance when it came to this matter. I'm sorry I told you. And I'm sorry that you have a conscience when it comes to Joey. But that man has always been a scumbag. We all can't forget who he was just last year. He doesn't deserve Charlotte, and frankly, I think I'm protecting Charlotte from him. Don't you think? From all his toxic behaviors, I am perfectly suited to prevent her from falling into the addictions that he's probably passed down to her and all of that. I know your history vaguely with poison, and I don't know, I gave you that piece of fabric and you got the DNA tested. Just so happened right after you got the results, Salvatore dies. Yes, this is true. I gave you that piece of key evidence in good faith, trusted you with it when I could have given it to the police. It was my stepson. You know, I had a vested interest in it as well. So I'm just curious. I'm not wearing a wire. I'm not recording anything. I didn't care for Sal. He didn't do anything for my family. And I had my suspicions as well. So I just want to know, did he leave that note and do everything on his own, or did you know? Salvatore, he's dead, right? You're aware, you believe that. Correct? He's dead. Yeah, he's dead. So then it doesn't matter how he died. Doesn't really change that he's dead. He's gone. His life was meaningless anyway. So the facts surrounding his death are really irrelevant, in my opinion. And for someone like you, who's missing Charlotte, has a lot of businesses and a nice relationship, you probably shouldn't worry yourself with the details of some random Italian man's demise. Okay, fair enough. I'll always believe what I want to believe, though. But back to that piece of evidence, because I care about my stepson and who killed him, and I know the world thinks it's just Sal. But I didn't just give you that piece of evidence for craps and giggles. Was my uncle, his DNA, was it on there at all? I know he handled the thing, but no. And if I was you, there are a lot of things in life that are disappointing. You know, Santa Claus isn't real. People don't live forever, and Superman's not going to save us when we fall out of a window. So when you can hold on to something and suspend your disbelief for just a minute, especially when it comes to family, you should do that. Strangers are not going to be heroes for us, but family members can be. We need that, I believe. Take that from a woman who doesn't have a mother, but also has a mother living in this world. Does that make sense? I'm not an idiot. A lot of people think I am. I just don't publicize my doubt towards my uncle. And it's very suspicious to me that he fled at the time that he did. Whether or not he says it's due to the woman who passed away in his church or not, I'm not that naive. Did Sal say anything to you before he passed away about my uncle having a hand in Junior's murder? No, he didn't. And I would like you to refer back to what I just said to you about remembering people the way you want to remember them. Your uncle has chose to leave town and not be in your life anymore. I'm sure someone's going to find him. But again, you should remember him the best way that you can. Because there's nothing more disappointing than being let down by a family member and no longer seeing them as that unbreakable statue that would overlook your life like a kind gargoyle. You're not my family. You have no reason to look out for me or try to protect me. I know you believe blood is thicker than water and you don't like to taint people's views and perceptions of their own family. I will never know the truth about what my uncle did if he did it. If you don't tell me right now what Salvatore said, are you being honest with me that he didn't implicate my uncle in this? Or is my uncle a murderer? Sal confessed to himself murdering Junior, but no one else. Okay? I am being honest with you. Alright, well, then I'm gonna go the rest of my life thinking that Salvatore was the only murderer of Junior. Because of you. You know, your DNA was on that bib as well. Well, I'm sure anyone's DNA that's on that piece of fabric, you'd want them dead. And if my uncle, if his DNA is really on there, the only reason you haven't killed him is because he's hiding. So if my DNA is on there, like you say, all I did was handle the piece of fabric. I was nowhere near my stepson's murder. I swear to God. I swear on Charlotte. If my DNA is on there, right? Then why aren't you killing me right now? Remember when you first arrived and I offered you a drink? And then you drank that drink? Well, the answer to your question is because of that drink. Was there poison in that? No. That's just fruit punch Gatorade. There's no poison in there. Okay, so if there's not poison in that and I drank your drink, why are you pointing it out? I happen to consider myself a connoisseur of poison and reading people who accidentally drink it or are too guilty to drink it. If you had killed my grandson or had a hand in it, and you're aware of my tendency to poison my enemies, you wouldn't have taken that drink. You're not guilty of anything. You passed my little test. Now, of course, it's not 100% foolproof. If I ever find out that you did have a hand with my grandson's murder, I will take your head off myself and find the nearest bowling alley to smash it against the pins. But as of right now, I think you were guilt-free. There's no blood on your hands. So you believe me when I say I had nothing to do with Junior's murder? Yes. I know who the killer is at the end of the day, and it's not you. Alright, so I guess that's my closure today. I just wanted to know whether or not my uncle had a hand in this. Sorry for wasting any of your time. Back to your question, though, about what Salvatore said before he died. Has nothing to do with who killed Junior. But he did say something else. that I would like to bring up to you today. And what did he say to you? In an attempt to right his karma right before he died, Salvatore confessed to me, and I could tell it was an honest confession just by the look in his eyes, that you did go through with the paternity test. And there's a reason that I referred to her as Charlotte and not your daughter before. Because I know she's not your daughter. I know she's my son's daughter. And I am indeed still a grandmother. So someone else knows.